Oh, very awesome. So we're glad to have you here. So this is just going to be a nice little refresher for you. That is true. Sometimes when you're watching other people, you figure out tips and tricks that you weren't even aware of. I've always loved watching other people do video editing because I always find new and interesting ways to utilize like Premiere and such. Little quick hands that you never would have thought of. Hi, Crystal. Welcome. Thanks for joining us. We're going to be starting at about 3:05. We're going to wait a few more minutes just to give a few extra people some entry. Hi, Nancy. Welcome. Oops, I think I heard a few other people, or just Nancy came in. Hi, welcome, Nancy. We are recording, just a heads up for everybody, so you'll be able to watch this later. And in the chat, if you'd like to, let us know what your Adobe experience is. Is this your first time seeing the program? You have some experience? Same to you, Crystal. And as I was saying, we'll be starting about 3:05. Give some people a few more minutes to get on in here. We do have a little bit to cover, so we'll try to keep it at a nice even pace so everybody can follow along. If you do have Adobe, feel free to open it up. Open up Illustrator now. If not, just sit back and enjoy. Hi, Sylvia. Welcome. Thanks for joining. As I was telling the others, we'll be starting about 3:05. Let us know if Adobe Illustrator is something you're familiar with, or if this is your first time seeing the program. We'd love to kind of gauge where everybody is. It's always awesome to see different skill levels joining in on these workshops. And as I said a few moments ago, we are recording, so just be aware. You'll be able to watch it at a later date as well. If there's anything you missed or want to pick up on again, we will have that available. All right, about 3 more minutes. I hope everybody's having a great Thursday. We're that much closer to Friday. I was like, is there anything you'd like to add, Greg? Give them a little information about what we're going to get started on in a few moments.
This is primarily focused on using the laser cutter at the iCreate lab. So the tutorial, I guess, is geared more towards that, but we're going to get a basic overview of Illustrator. Simple
Yeah.
tools and a little bit of tips and tricks and just dipping your toes in.
So it's great foundational work, even if you're not coming in for the laser cutter, but it's great if you are interested in using our laser cutter, because then you'll have a head up on the game above everybody else when you come in. Oh, very cool, Crystal. Well, like you said, you're going to get a little insight in some of the basics. Hopefully make some connections in here. You never know who might be interested in helping you learn some more. And the biggest thing is at the iCreate Lab, we do have access to the Adobe Suite. So you can always make a reservation and come on in and get some hands-on with it as well. All right, we'll give it about another minute and then we'll get started. So the nice part is it looks like we're going to have a nice small group, so this should make it a little easier for if you have questions or anything. But I think we have a few more seconds. We could probably get started. So hi everyone, welcome to the iCreate Labs second virtual workshop. This one is learning the basics of Adobe Illustrator, along with learning a little bit about our laser cutter that is here at the iCreate Lab. I'll be your host of the event. My name is Yvette, and I'm a graduate assistant here at the iCreate Lab. Our presenter for today is Gregg Hartsfield. He is a senior in the bachelor program for mechanical engineering, and he also is a student worker here at the iCreate Lab. So before I hand it over to him, I'm just going to let everyone know that if you do have a question during the presentation, please use the raise hand feature, which I will demonstrate real fast if you look at my picture. Or, oh, wait, it's not a raise hand, so it'll be let's just say a happy face if you have a question. We'll do a little happy face if you have a question. I'll let Gregg know there's a question, and then you can open your mic, as soon as possible. And you can ask that question or feel free. We do have the chat. I will be monitoring the chat the whole time frame. So if you do have a question or you need Gregg to slow down, don't hesitate to put that in the chat and I'll take care of that and relay the information to him. So I hope everybody enjoys themselves. If you are really liking what Gregg's doing, or if Gregg's, asks like, hey, is everybody following? Feel free to do a nice little thumbs up either on your camera or put the little emoji just to give him the go ahead to continue onward. And I'll go ahead and toss it on over to Gregg.
Hi. So so this is primarily just a basic tutorial for Illustrator. Today we're going to be using Illustrator 2021. So it's the newer Illustrator. So when you open up Illustrator, this is probably going to be the first thing you're going to see, which is making a new document. And essentially this is setting up your artboard to make your designs or upload them or doing anything like that. I do have like a little window screen thing that will open up and will show you what I'm pressing to help you follow along. So yeah, let's get started. So generally, in the iCreate lab, we use inches as like our um, primary units. So on default, when you open up Illustrator, it's usually on points. So we're able to, okay. Oh, it's a lot slower. Okay. Um, that's interesting. Okay, there. All right. Um, for some reason it wasn't working. Primarily, well, we could switch our units here on just clicking on this drop down menu, and we can click on inches, and then we're able to change the width and height of our artboard. It's basically like making the paper size. If you have a standard sheet of paper, you're able to make a custom length and width. We're going to primarily gear this tutorial towards the laser cutter. So the laser cutter is 24 by 18. And that's the basically the cutting area that the laser cutter is able to do. So once we make the art, like put down our dimensions, everything that we're able to create our artboard. So this is what you would see. Is everyone following along? Should be. All right. So going over the basic tools on Illustrator, on the left side, you should have a toolbar. And these are essentially the basic tools that you can modify objects or anything like that. Our first tool is the selection tool. So if you have an object like a box or anything like that, the selection tool will actually like move the object around, and also you're able to edit the size of the object that you're moving. Um, so if we have the rectangle tool, your second one is a direct selection tool, which handles moving points. So each one, so Illustrator is good is because it uses vectors instead of rasterization, which is like pixels and stuff like that. So we're actually able to move like anchor points and move certain things like this, making different polygons or anything like that. And yeah, moving on. Here's our basic shape tool, which is at this point a square, but we're able to right click the the rectangle tool to get different types of polygons or shapes depending on what you need. So like the ellipse tool or the ellipse tool and rectangle and the polygon tool, which you can change the radius and then also the how many sides the polygon has. So in this case, it's 6, and we're able to edit that. You're able to also modify features on these basic shapes, which are the appearance. So we're able to fill it, which essentially is just filling in the background. And if you click on like the box for fill, you'll get a little palette and you're able to change the color of it, and you're able to like edit certain things or have it show nothing. Um, Moving on to stroke. The stroke is actually the vector that is around the object, and we're able to modify that by changing the color of it and or changing the size of it. So we're able to make it very thick if we want to, just like that. So yeah, and then there's also a basic line segment tool that we're able to use. Um, we also have type. So if you want to type things out, it has a paragraph tool. And just like Word or any other like word editor, you're able to align the center of it. You're able to change the font size or make it even larger. You're also able to change the font of it depending on what you want. Um, and generally, those are the basic tools that will let you get started. There's also other tools. So if you don't want just straight lines, you're able to use the like pen tool or curvature tool, which essentially makes you able to like make lines of any kind, any spline lines, and or oh, there we go. Or you're able to use curvature tool, which is basically when you click, you're able to click another face and then it will make a line between those points. It's very useful. But yeah, it's a general gist of the tools they're able to do. I'm gonna move into another scene. Okay. So if you want to, let's just say you have a project that you want to come into the iCreate lab and um, you're wanting to like use the laser cutter or use the large format printer or something like that. Um, you can come in with your object or your design, and we're able to help you out in that sense. So I'm going today, for instance, I'm going to make a cutting board. So let's just say I brung in a cutting board in, and I want to make a design on this cutting board. Um, the first thing we do if you have an object of some kind that you want to edit or make, we need to measure the object, right? So in order to measure the object and then import the correct dimensions, we're able to pull up out the rulers on Illustrator. So if we go to View, and then we go down to Rulers, and then Show Rulers, we're able to bring up the rulers of it. So if you bring in the object, we would in real life bring in the, also I'm currently zooming in and out with Alt and then scroll wheel. So we're able to go in that. We can bring in our tape measurer and measure our object. So we're around 10 inches or so. And then we're able to rotate our tape measure. And then we're able to measure the height of it. It's like 17 and a half around.
And I just
And
want
then,
to clarify, sorry, Greg. I just want to clarify that what he's doing, we would be doing physically in person.
yeah,
So we would be using a tape measure on the item you brought in to use in the laser cutter. So although we're demonstrating on Illustrator, this would happen in person, and then the
I don't have,
designing. Yeah, we can't sadly show you that. But yeah, so that's kind of the idea. And then does anybody have any questions so far? The good part is you're getting a look at another way to utilize Illustrator, though, through this fun demonstration.
is
Does it
everyone
give?
following along? Or am I going too fast? I don't know.
Yeah, please let us know. This is very feedback driven. Everything's good? Crystal says she's A-okay. All right. Thank you, Greg. I'm sorry. I just wanted to make note. I hate for somebody to be like, this is how I do it. All right, continue. Sorry about that, Greg.
No, it's okay. So we would obviously we will measure in real life. This is just, fun. And so also you wouldn't really have an image of your cutting board. We're just representing of it. So we would import um the size of the cutting board in order to actually like get the real world equivalent into the computer. So a neat feature for illustrators, we're able to drag measuring lines, I guess, ruler lines, and we're able to actually line them up to the dimensions that we put in the real world. So we said it was 10 inches, and then the height of it was around 17 or something. Well, it's a little bit less than that. My ruler's not that, my tape measure is not that great, but you know, generally that's it. Uh, so we don't really need this image. It's only an analog anymore. Um, so I was thinking doing an image in the middle of it and or like some text. So a critical dimension would be actually this hole in the middle. So we would have to actually measure where we want text. So I'm just gonna generally just put some text down. I'll make a GIF for my mom. So let's make it mom's. Oh, mom's. Okay. There we go. Because she makes the best cookies. And we're able to edit the dimensions. If you want like the aspect ratio to be the same, so for instance, if we like move around this the text, we don't get the same exact aspect ratio, correct? And if you ever like make a mistake like this or anything like that, we're able to control Z and go back in time to before you made the mistake. And we're able to, if you press shift and click, you're able to click and drag and keep the aspect ratio of the object that you're making. This works for like the works for like rectangle tools or images. It'll keep it the same aspect ratio. Now we're also able to press Alt and we're able to center it based on that. And then if we also do a combination of Alt and Shift, we're able to keep the aspect ratio and also center it. This is helpful for certain situations. It's good to know to, be proficient at doing Illustrator. So we're gonna make mom's cookies around here. So usually we would have measured the height of where the hole is. So we would say like, oh, I want it 2 inches down from the hole or something like that. So we'll measure from like 5 inches down, right? And we'll get a general like placement by using our rulers and centering it up and everything like that. So yeah. So moving on from like text and stuff like that, if you want to import an image, right? It's very simple on Illustrator. There's no, you can import it like through traditional methods of like click and dragging or anything like that. But a cool thing is that you're able to just copy and paste certain things. So I looked up some cookies on Google and we're able to just click on the image and then we're able to also like copy the image and then we're able to import it in to Illustrator. So I've done that with two of these images. One's a color image and one is a black and white image. The laser cutter primarily likes black and white images because it just makes it, I don't know, the contrast of the wood and stuff like that gets kind of lost in the grain. So if you have like multicolored images, it might not turn out as well as if you just did a black and white image. But yeah, if you and then bringing into like an image, you're also able to vectorize the image, meaning that if we zoom in with alt scroll wheel, we're able to see that this image is very low quality and there's like artifacts and stuff like that. And also it's rasterized, meaning it's pixelated. And in Illustrator, we're able to click one simple button and we're able to vectorize it and get it into a point that we're able to actually use it on the laser cutter. Because if you don't vectorize it, the pixels will come out in the object that you are making if it's not high enough res. So there's a neat button on Illustrator right here, which is image trace. And we're able to simply use a default image trace, which default is essentially just black and white, and it will just look for those two colors. So if we click on default, it will vectorize the image. And now if we scroll in, I could scroll in forever and it will be a straight line and there won't be any pixels. And that's the great use of Illustrator. Sometimes, depending on your image, either if it's like a very complicated image or very low res and complicated, it will get weird artifacts. And to mitigate that, the best course of action is actually getting a like better image or a higher res image before you image trace. But if that's not possible, there is settings for it. So if you click on right next to where you image traced it and the default, there's this little handy toolbar that will pop out, and usually it wouldn't look, oh wait, no, there you go. Usually it would look like this. Um, but depending on how you want to make it look, you're able to click down the advanced options. It looks confusing, it's not. Um, and then we're able to mess around with these parameters. So depending on what look you're trying to do, you can test out and see which is better by moving these 4 different sliders. And it's not really a super science. It's more of like what you want out of the image. So depending on what it is, you're able to edit it to the way you want to look, make it look. So there's that. And then after doing that, you're also able to expand it, which means that you're actually putting the vector in there. And then from here, if there's certain things that you don't like about the image, you're able to edit it with some of the toolbars. So the direct selection tool will be very helpful in this sense. Once you image trace it, um, the direct select is able to actually go in and get these vector points, and you're able to actually edit these, moving them out, splaying them out, changing their handle, meaning that you're able to change the spline of it, um, or you're able to just delete certain things. So you see, I can delete that there, or something like that. And it's just for editing or anything like that. Um, and the same thing goes for colored images. Essentially, it's the same thing, but the only difference is on the image trace, instead of clicking default, you have other options. So if you want like great shades of gray, that's more towards like um, the laser cutter. But if you want colors, that's more towards the large format printer and getting like a certain color. So you could see that in this image, there's gradients. It's also low res, but we're able to fix some of that and make it more flat. If you want gradients in your image, just have a higher quality image if you're gonna use the large format printer. But we're able to get a couple colors in, and there's some artifacts and stuff. It's because there's not enough colors in to actually uh, get that gradient that was there. And then the more colors we put in, the more that gradient comes out of this image. And the same thing, if there's like certain weird things, like right here, there's, if you see, it's like this weird like bump. We're able to like play around with the settings to see if we're able to get that bump out. So yeah, simplifying the paths, we're able to take out the bump. It's dependent on what you're trying to look for. So yeah. And then from here, you're able to just scale the image, and I'm pushing shift to keep the aspect ratio, and we're able to put it into image that we want on the artboard. And then from here, we're able to essentially laser cut it. We'll raster it, and we're able to put this on a cutting board realistically. And like applications for this, especially for the laser cutter, are right here. So we're able to engrave a cutting board, but we're also able to make like wooden boxes. We're able to engrave glass. There's a little baby Yoda that's uh, engraved acrylic, and then we put a light on the bottom of it, and it was able to light up. And then here is paper, which we're also able to cut and rasterize. Is everyone following? So yeah, and then here's an image of the laser cutter in the iCreate. So yeah, is there any questions before I move on?
Or is there anything you would like to be repeated that you didn't get? We can repeat for the moment before we move forward if anybody has anything. If not, give us another good old thumbs up.
All right. Um, so so if you want to, well, let's move on from laser cutting and like let's make it, I guess, a sticker. Where's my image here? So let's bring it into a new new artboard. So if we're making a sticker, depending on the size that we want, I usually like doing 3 by 3 inch stickers. So we'll do that, and we'll click create. Here's a new artboard, and then bring in the image that you made or you found online, depending on what it is. So for instance, it's the cookie. Same thing applies for image tracing. Um, we're able to image trace the image, and then from there, we're able to edit certain things. The main thing is if you want to cut out an image or have the large format printer cut out the sticker itself, we would have to add a stroke around this image. So a simple way, the quick and dirty way, is actually just taking an ellipse tool or a square tool, depending on the image that you have, and pressing Alt and Shift. And we're able to easily make, if we arrange this to the back, see how it like went to the front, we're able to go right click, arrange, and then send to the back. And we're able to have a stroke around, a path around the image. And then when you bring it into the iCreate, if you have the file, we're able to apply a certain color around the image, and it will tell the large format printer to cut around that certain area. So that is the quick and simple way of making stickers. If you want a more, I guess, like professional looking sticker, after image tracing, you're able to expand. So we're going to expand the image trace, and we should be able to get some of the, it's not working for me, of course, an outline of the whole image. Of course, it's not going to work for me. So we're just going to Control Z. Sometimes it happens where it's not doing exactly what you want. I'm going to copy this image by Control Z, and I'm going to Control V on the side. And we're going to make two different things. We're going to have one be a default and then one be our actual sticker. Basically the color version, the final color version we want. And then one is going to be a representation of that. So we're going to click on default. And that's more what we want. We're getting a more outline image of it. And then we're able to go in. And by double clicking, we're able to like actually edit the layer. Oh, I didn't click expand. All right, we expand it. And we're able to actually get the outline of the image. Delete. I'm just deleting these little vectors. And we should be able to get a stroke from this. And we're extracting this stroke. This is the main important part, which is a round. Basically, it's the shape of the cookie or the image that you're doing. And we're going to delete everything else that we don't need. Nope. We don't need any of this. Sorry, it's spamming on the side. Come on. There we go. I'm just selecting and deleting. And basically, at the end, we'll get a cookie shape. Oh, select. There we go. We have a cookie shape. And this should fit over our original cookie right here. Yeah, there we go. So you see it's a nice outline. We tend to, so if you want to like more professional look, we'll drag this over and we'll make the no fill. So there's none on our fill. And then we're able to make the stroke big enough that we're able to see it. That's too big. Somewhere out there. There we go. And then from here, we're able to actually move this line out, essentially. So we like encompassing the cookie. And this will get you that like nice white line on the outside of your sticker. Okay, I think it's, yeah. So if you go to object, if we have it selected, the outline, we go to object and we'll go to, that's not, that's not what's supposed to happen. Sometimes this happens. Okay, there we go. I don't know why I guess I was in a layer or something. So I have it selected now. So I'm going to put it back. So go to object, go to path, and then we're able to offset the path. So we'll click on that and it'll give us a preview of the offset. So from here, we're able to change how much the distance is from that offset. And it should, once we click.
Greg, we had someone just wanting to clarify. Richard said it was object, expand the path, then offset the path.
Yes, so select the stroke that we just got. Select that, and we're going to go to object, path, offset path. And that should give us this right here.
Thank you, Greg.
And then from there, we're able to change the distance away. And we should be able to like click off and we should get us something around that. And we're pay okay. So now we have two of them. So our original stroke, oh, it's in a layer. So we're able to go into the layer by double clicking on the stroke, double click, and we should be able to like edit both of them. We're going to remove the inner stroke and we'll be just left with the outer stroke. And this is the main stroke that we're able to cut the sticker out. And all we would do is when you bring it in, we have a special file and we're able to change that into the cut outline for the large format to actually cut this out. But yeah. Any questions?
Hi, welcome. I see we have a latecomer. What have we gone over so far, Greg, just to get that latecomer kind of informed
We've
of what we've
gone
done?
over setting up an artboard for the not for the large format printer. Setting up an artboard for the laser cutter and putting in an example of a object you would bring in for it to be laser cut. Going over some of the tools and some of the like tool tips and like using keybinds to move around and stuff like that. Putting down text, importing an image from the internet and vectorizing the image, and then going over some of the applications that you're able to do with a laser cutter, and then setting up a um, setting up a sticker for the large format printer to print out.
Okay, thanks. Did we have any questions or anything so far? I don't know what else did you have planned, Greg?
That's pretty much it. I'm more than willing to help or answer questions, or if you have ideas, if you're wondering if we could do to help you out.
You're welcome. If you have anything specific, as Greg was saying, Puha, feel free to ask questions. You can open your mic. I hope I pronounced that right. If you want us to go over sort of a basic recap of any of the areas, let us know.
If you want me to go over something again.
Well, that won't be necessary. I was just saying what we have. This is the first time I'm attending some session.
Awesome. Well, great to join. Glad to have you. Do you have any experience with Adobe Illustrator, or is this kind of new for you?
This is new. I was just checking out what we have and what we can do, but I know I'm kind of late, so that's okay.
That's okay. Anything that Greg mentioned, did anything sound interesting to you? We are more than happy to go back over it. This is kind of a question section that's open to anybody else. If you have anything you want to go over or have a quick question, feel free to open mic or go ahead and pop it in the chat. Because we have the room till 4, so yeah, we have about a little over 15 minutes for any questions, any requests. I'm sure if you have a burning desire or question, I'm sure Greg could probably give you an answer. Either about Illustrator if you're curious about the laser cutter, or if you're just curious about the iCreate, we can both answer those questions. And he's going to take us to our website.
So yeah, this is our website. If you want to do an equipment reservation, and this is all the equipment that we have: 3D printer, CNC machine, the large format printer, the laser cutter, embroidery machine. And most of all these machines actually use Illustrator in some way or some form in order to like make the design and actually import it. So knowing how to use Illustrator is very important. But if you come in and you have questions, we're more than happy to help you out on either like your project or anything like that if you have an idea in mind. For the laser cutter, there are a list of things you're able to have cut and or engraved. And in order to get that information, we're able to just go into the website and click on laser cutter. And if you scroll down, actually has all the things that it's able to etch, meaning that it's able to put an image on the object that you're trying to engrave or anything like that, and things that are able to cut, meaning that's like literally able to like almost like an X-Acto knife, but burning it, cut out certain things. So like some woods we're able to cut, but for glass, for that instance, we're not able to cut, but we're able to um, engrave and etch.
Yeah, and as I said at the beginning, this is being recorded, so we will have it up on our YouTube page hopefully in the next few days. So you can always go back, refresh yourself, or watch what we did for the first time. We do have the Adobe suites available on our PCs and Macs here at the lab, so you can always call ahead to see about coming in to utilize one of those to kind of get some experience if you don't own the properties yourself. And you would just need a call. We are reservation based, as you see right now during the pandemic. And I think that's about all the information I have. So once again, just opening it up. If anybody has any questions, comments, we'd love to hear from you. Is there anything we could do better for our next one? We're always constantly trying to improve our virtual workshops. So let us know your thoughts. We would greatly appreciate that.
What Yvette said. Yep. Uh,
So Crystal, I know you had said that this was kind of your first time getting a look at the Adobe Illustrator. What are your thoughts now? Think you have a good idea of getting your own project started? And I hope, Richard, that you learned a few new tips and tricks to maybe get some stuff done in your job. Awesome. Yeah, the sticker making is a lot of fun. It is very addictive. We have a sticker wall, so after you make your sticker, we always encourage people to leave one behind to let people know about kind of what people are doing, their ideas. You're very welcome. Yeah, thanks for coming, Richard. Like I said, I hope you got some new tips and tricks out of this.
so yeah, if there's like any questions or anything like that, most of the information you can get off of like on the equipment is online on the website. So, but yeah.
Yep, so even though we only covered the laser cutter today, you're more than welcome to go to our website and check out some of the other great pieces of equipment we have here. I love seeing the versatility of our machines of the laser cutter because the bottom picture with the paper, that's cutting, whereas the glasses are like etching.
Yeah, just etching or the box is engraving and cutting, and even the Yoda is.
Oh, that's right, because it's cut out of acrylic.
Yep.
But yes, thank you all so much for joining us. We do appreciate it. We do have some more time, so if you have questions, but if you got to get on with your day, we understand. Thank you all so much for coming. These virtual workshops, I think at every single one I've learned something new myself. And as long as you don't have any questions, Richard, I'll go ahead and stop the recording, just in case I always want to catch those questions. Bye, have a great day.
Bye.